Now you may be all set now for something solemn with all this liturgy, but you've already had a taste, so you can readjust and enjoy Orin Johnson.
Thank you. I am Orin, and I'm a little tired, honestly, just listening to everything that I do. I didn't know that about myself. I'm originally from a small town in Tyler, in Minnesota. It's called Tyler. And the thing that's unique about Tyler that I always have to say, you know, you're in a group setting and you don't know anyone around the table and the leader says, okay, tell everyone your name and something unique about yourself. Well, I'm from Tyler, Minnesota, which is unique because it's the biggest town in Lincoln County, Minnesota. And that's the only county in all of Minnesota that doesn't have a stoplight. If that gives you some background of from whence I came. Now, if you go up to the car wash that's down on the corner, you pull in and there's a little green light that says drive to here, and then the red light that says stop. We don't count that because there's no yellow in the middle. So, about 3 years ago, a friend of mine, Shannon Cernecka, and I formed this group called Oddwalk Ministries. And we formed it because we had been playing, doing some music, doing some presentations, and we were sort of tired of being billed as Shannon Cernecka / Orin Johnson. And so we said we need a name so that we don't have this slash anymore. And then we came up, and it's sort of a long story, I'm not going to tell it tonight, but we came up with Oddwalk Ministries, and we thought we were done with the slash forever. But for some reason, it came back tonight. We don't know. My wife, who's not here, thankfully, will ask sometimes, how did you form Oddwalk Ministries? Because what we do is we make music and try to be funny. And she's not convinced that I do either of those very well at all. Well, one of the things that we learn as we go through life are the things that we're good at. But what's equally important, I think, is learning the things that we're not good at. And so I'd like to tell you a slightly fictional story of one of the things that I'm not good at. Growing up, as I did in middle of nothingness, Minnesota, you do find things to do, though, with some of the folks around you. And one of the things that I like to do is play some softball and play some baseball. Now, I say play loosely because typically when I showed up at a baseball game, what happened was I sat on the bench until about halfway through the 7th inning. And then they put me somewhere in the deepest, darkest netherworld called right field. And there I would stand and watch about 20 minutes of baseball, and then I'd come and sit on the bench, hoping that 8 people in front of me would get a chance to bat, and that I would actually get up to the plate to swing. But there was one game. There was one game in Ivanhoe, Minnesota, about 20 miles up the road. And just to show how desperate they were for people, there weren't a lot of us that were able to make the trip. And of those that made the trip, apparently a number of them were even worse than I was. Because not only did I start the game right from the beginning of the game, but I was in the infield. They put me at second base. And I'm not sure why. And I thought, well, here's my chance. Here's my chance. If I'm going to be some sort of athlete, this is what's going to let me know. And so I took the field, second base, which was described to me once as the right field of the infield. And I thought, all I want to do is stop the ball. I don't want there to be a grounder that goes right between my legs. I just don't let me screw up. And the first batter came up, and you know how when you're 12 or 13 years old, some people are 4'6", and other people seem to be about 8 feet tall. Well, this was one of the 8 foot tall versions of a 13-year-old. And you know how some batters will look around and think, if I hit the ball there, I'll get a hit. If I hit the ball here, where no one is, I'll get a hit. This guy seemed to have a look like, who's the weakest, most fragile person out there? Let me hit it at him. This will be fun. I think he saw me. And I'm playing second base, and the pitcher throws the ball, and he hits it, and it comes right at me, and I don't even have a chance to react. It just hits me. But it hits me in a location that made me happy that I chose to wear my protective cup, because I could hear it shattering into thousands and millions of little tiny pieces. And as I fell to the ground, I thought to myself, I don't remember putting my protective cup on today. And it was at that point I knew athletics was not what I was going to be about in life.